If you've lost a copy of your resale package, which would contain your covenants, codes, and restrictions, or you're trying to find whom to contact in your HOA, this can be nightmarish sometimes. You would think it should be as easy as Googling the name of your association or Googling the name of your subdivision. So let's talk about the steps that you can take to find it when you need it the most. My name is Finney, and my passion is to help you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, let's take a closer look at this. First of all, it's important to note that an HOA is an acronym for Homeowners Association that in a lot of areas of the country are also becoming known as a CIC, which is a combined interest community. Both of those acronyms and both of those terms tend to be used very much interchangeably. So whether you have an HOA on your records or whether you have a CIC on your records, just know that in reality, they're operating and behaving the same, and you're going to have cc&rs, which are covenants, codes, and restrictions available to you through each. There are three important things to keep in mind here as we progress. The first thing is that typically an HOA community, homeowners association, will be required to file the documents with the county that you reside in to form the covenants, codes, and restrictions that are going to run with the property. That's how they do this. It's an actual entity itself, so it has to be filed with your county assessor's office. The second thing is that a lot of HOA communities are actually nonprofits. As a nonprofit, they may be required to share the financial filings on an annual basis or quarterly basis with the state's business department. And the third thing to know is that you actually should have received all your HOA's contact information, including your covenants, codes, and restrictions at the time that you purchased the house. So with that in mind, let's move into 6 steps you can take to find your HOA's contact info. The first thing that you can do is go to Google. Google is our friend. So much information is available right there. What we want to search for in specific is the name of your county and then the words assessor's office. So for example, Las Vegas is in Clark County. If I wanted to find the assessor's office, I would Google Clark County Assessor's Office. In most cases, what you will find on the county assessor's website is the ability to search by owner's name, property address, parcel ID, which is also referred to as an APN, which is an acronym for Assessor's Parcel Number, the subdivision name, or the condominium name. There are a few other clever ways that you can super sleuth your HOA's info. One is if your neighbor down the street or in your community has their home up for sale. Simply Google their address, check the listing information that that listing agent has provided, and you may be able to find the name of the subdivision and or the contact information for the HOA itself. That's step one. The second way that you can do it is turn back into your homeowner journal, which by the way, if you haven't started one yet, please do. In your homeowner journal, one of the first things that you should have kept was the actual recorded deed of your house. If you go back to your recorded deed, it's going to have the name of your subdivision. It's going to have the name of your community, along with all the other legal information regarding your property. The third thing that you can do is simply ask your neighbor to see if they know. And the fourth thing here is perhaps the easiest way to get the contact information for your HOA and find out more information, which is picking up the phone and calling your trusted real estate advisor that worked with you. Now, it is important to note here that we as trusted real estate advisors have access to what's called the multiple listing service. In many parts of the country, when we list property, we need to make available the HOA's contact information and know who it is with a phone number. So we could provide that to you if you were looking for a direct source. Now, if you still prefer the super sleuth yourself, let's go on to step 2, which is how to find your association's corporation information or simply their business filings. So now that we know the name of your community and or subdivision that you live within, we can actually go to your state's business department, sometimes called a corporation commission, and search for their filing. Keeping in mind from one of those 3 things that we identified first on in our conversation is that a lot of these entities are a nonprofit organization. Therefore, they must be registered with your state's business department. So just like with how we turn to Google to find our subdivision name or our community name, we want to do the same thing here with the state's business department. What we want to do is we want to put your state's name in and business department. So if I wanted to find Nevada's business department, I would just do a simple Google query that says Nevada's business department, and it's going to give me the appropriate place to go. So in the case of this example, we're going to obviously use Las Vegas, Nevada for finding the business entity and the information here that we need to find for a specific community. Now, when we get onto the business page itself, we can type in the search bar and go back and search for the HOA's contact information based upon the records that they have filed with the business department itself. This will work in all 50 United States. When you do that search, what you'll generally find here are three things: the mailing address for the HOA, the registered agent name and the address. The third is that you'll oftentimes find the officer or director's detail, including their contact information. Typically, you can download the association's articles of incorporation and any of the reports at no cost. However, sometimes some of the states may charge for this information. So now that you know your association's legal name, what you can do is you can go to your county's recorder's office. So again, just like we did in the first two steps, you want to do it again here and simply type in the name of your county and then type in the words recorder's office. In this case, Clark County Recorder's Office would get me to where I wanted to go. When you get onto the recorder's office, you're generally going to be able to find a lot more information using your association's legal name as a search criteria. Most counties throughout the United States will give you the option to search by the following information: the name, document number, document type, a map, a recording date, or subdivision name. Now, it is important to note here that with the recorder's office, a lot of the states out there, a lot of the counties out there will require you to pay to download the resources, though the benefit here is that you may not have to download it if you're reviewing that information on the screen itself. In other words, it's like free to view, but pay to play, so that if you want to download it, you got to pay for the documents. You can simply take pen to pad here and write down the information that you need, that you're looking for to contact your HOA. The fourth step that you want to take is to verify that you have the right association. Now, you may notice in your city, especially depending on how big it is, you may have a lot of similar named associations or similarly named communities. So there's three core ways that we can evaluate to make sure that we have the right contact information for your HOA. The first one is to simply look at the plat map or the subdivision map to make sure that it's in the same geographic region as your house. The second thing is to take a look at your association's cc&rs, which are covenants, codes, and restrictions, and verify that the lot numbers listed in that area are pertaining to your community. The third place to look is the deed to your house. Now, on your deed, it may expressly have it right there on there what the recorded instrument number or recorded document number was, so that when you go to your county recorder's office, you can look it up by that exact document recording number or document recording instrument, whatever they're calling it in your county, to make sure that you have the right association. The fifth thing is, what happens if you find multiple associations listed to that document? Go back to your deed again, or simply pick up the phone and talk to your trusted real estate advisor and ask them to help you clarify what you're looking at in front of you. So in step 6 is, now that you know all of this information about your neighborhood, community, recording numbers, you may have found that your community is professionally managed by an HOA management company, which means that you can simply pick up the phone and ask the question that was most pressing to you to begin with, or to find out how to get a copy of the information that you're looking for, whether it be the financials in your HOA docs, a current set of your cc&rs, which are the covenants, codes, restrictions, and the bylaws. Now you have that ability. Now, if your HOA is privately managed, you may need to actually send them a letter to the physical address that you found earlier by visiting the state's business department page and sending a letter to them directly. Now, of course, this is 6 steps of how to find your HOA's contact information. What is the easiest thing that you could do right now? You could easily follow along with all 6 steps, or cut to the chase and just simply pick up the phone and call your trusted real estate advisor. I'm sure they'd be happy to help you. So now let's take a look at 10 ways to deal with your HOA and how to understand your HOA documents. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.